Right here, down. Protect your out. We put the work in. Let's finish. Come on, man. Let's do this. Family, I'll do 1, 2, 3.
You see, we dream chase, because that's all we was given to start with. Then we realized the dream was obtainable. Now look at us.
What's going on, Eagles Nation and TMTP family? Welcome back to another episode here on the Main Thing Podcast Presents. It's your bull, Mr. Owens. And after further review, the call stands. I'm still official with no stripes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, thank you again for tapping back in with the Main Thing Podcast Presents. Your presence and your time here with us is truly appreciated. Today, though, family, woo, child. That's what you say, right? Look, man, I had to hit the Josh Sweat, the sweaty, even though he ain't in Philadelphia no more. We've got a loaded midweek Eagles report. A lot of news has dropped. Rumors are flying. Misinformation is being spreaded everywhere. And fans are trying to separate facts from noise. So today, we're breaking down everything you need to know about the Eagles this week. NovaCare complex changes, Arthur Juan K staying in Philadelphia, contract clarity, free agent rumors, coaching promotions, cap space strategy, draft and combine prep. Whatever you want, we got it. We deliver over here. Look, before we dive into that, though, to our loyal supporters, thank you. Y'all know it's all love. The Main Thing Podcast Presents can't happen without the support from y'all. And to our new supporters, welcome to the community and our family. Let's continue to do our part for the community and our family. Please continue to like the videos. It does help with the visibility of our channel in the algorithm. Disrespect that comment section, share and subscribe to the community and our content. And last but not least, don't forget to do this. Make sure to turn on them noties and keep your ears and eyes peeled to the streets like your local neighborhood watch. So you don't miss when me and Big Huss drop this pressure on y'all. So look, let's start with the biggest problem every off season: national media misinformation. I get tired of the media in and outside of Philadelphia. Every single year, the Eagles are one of the most scrutinized organizations in all of sports. Stories get exaggerated, headlines get twisted, and rumors start to become narratives. And suddenly, Philly gets painted as the bad guy, as this unstable, dysfunctional environment. But let's be very, very clear here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. That narrative does not match Philadelphia. Players consistently say the locker room culture is elite, communication is strong, expectations are clear, player development is elite, and leadership is authentic. Inside the NovaCare complex, the Eagles remain one of the most respected football operations in all of the National Football League. Free agents keep coming, coaches continue staying, and players want to play here and be here in the city of Philadelphia. So when y'all hear that outside noise trying to scare players, fans, and future signings away from Philly, understand this. That is not the reality of this organization. And while we're on the NovaCare complex, let's talk about the NovaCare complex name change. So, after 25 years from the day that the facility opened, the NovaCare complex, that's all we know here in Philadelphia for our birds and the practice facility, but they're getting a new identity, new name change, and it's going to be called the Jefferson Health Training Complex, or JHTC for short. First off, shout out to Jefferson Health because my favorite cousin is employed by Jefferson Health. So shout out to y'all. Y'all be doing y'all thing. You feel me? We Philly through it through. But let's talk more about this move and what it means. It means more modern branding, expanded partnerships, facility upgrades, and finally, player performance investment. This isn't about abandoning tradition, it's about the progress of our organization. The Eagles are always one, two, three, 4, 5. Yeah, y'all got it. Steps ahead. And this is just another example of that forward thinking leadership. Nothing changes in culture, nothing changes in the daily operations of our organization, but everything improves in resources, infrastructure, and player development tools. Another example of why our fabulous and great CEO owner, Jeffrey Lurie, and our great general manager, Howard Roseman, are playing chess, not checkers, with all of these other organizations in the National Football League. But look, we got to shut down a rumor. We got to switch over to this topic because this has been a topic of discussion for the past few seasons. And it really started to get louder here in the 2025-2026 campaign. Arthur Juan K. Yeah, y'all know it. A.J. Brown. He's staying in Philadelphia. Multiple credible sources, including Derek Gunn, longtime voice of the Philadelphia Eagles. He has been around this organization for a few decades, so he is a trusted voice when it comes to the players, the coaches, the organization as a whole. But via 97.5, the Fanatic in Philly confirmed there is no trade request on Arthur Juan's part or out of his camp, no locker room issues, and no desire to leave. Arthur Juan loves this city. He loves this locker room, and he believes in our franchise Super Bowl winning MVP QB1. Now, contract wise, yes, we get it. Discussions will happen. That's just part of normal business. That's just all a part of the game. But let's be very clear and frank here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. Arthur Juan K is a foundational piece of this franchise. He's a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. He is a leader and a voice in this organization and locker room. He is a tone setter, and he is a culture builder. Philly, Howie Roseman already has stated this. We don't just let elite talent walk out the door. We acquire elite talent. And we know that Arthur Juan is elite. Hence why there's been so much trade chatter. Hence why so many organizations try to position themselves to get Arthur Juan K, but it's not happening. He will be back in Midnight Green in 2026. Okay, so now let's talk about 2 names creating some serious buzz in the free agent rumor mill. Okay. So we got Denzel Ward, cornerback from the Cleveland Browns. If available, I'm not even going to lie to y'all. I'm not going to sugarcoat none of this. This will be a home run acquisition, kind of like a Schwar bomb or a Bryce Harper bomb. Y'all, if you know, you know. Okay. Denzel Ward gives you elite man coverage, speed, ball skills, and veteran leadership. As a CB2 on the opposite side of Quintano Mobay, 23-1 Mitchell, he instantly upgrades the perimeter coverage, third down defense, and red zone matchups. I've loved Denzel Ward ever since he came out of Ohio State. He is a bona fide top 5, top 10 corner, and he will fit very, very well here in Philadelphia, playing alongside Quinyon Mitchell, and it will really be straight jacket season out there for a lot of receivers coming to play against Quinyon Mitchell and Denzel Ward. That is somebody who I truly, truly like and respect their game, and he will make an immediate impact here in Philadelphia if he becomes available from the Cleveland Browns. Another player who's been making waves, and we're all about familiarity here in Philadelphia, as we all know. Connections always play a factor and role in Philadelphia, and Bradley Chubb, edge rusher from the Miami Dolphins, he's familiar with Godfather Vic from their time down with the Miami Dolphins, but this would be a dominant addition to the pass rush unit, man. Bradley Chubb is a dog. Woof, 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 woof. He really is one of them ones. I put him in the same type tier as a Max Crosby. I'll even say that Bradley Chubb is more powerful and has a couple more moves in the arsenal than Max Crosby, even though either one of them on this team will be a phenomenal splash and a phenomenal piece for this already stout defense. But Bradley Chubb brings power, speed, a relentless motor. I love effort and hustle on every single play. This is what we love in Philadelphia, when players play with passion, and he brings playoff experience, something that we're used to here in the city of Philadelphia. Imagine Bradley Chubb, Jalix Hunt, Nolan Smith. If we get Jalen Phillips back at a great, great price, we can pair him up with Bradley Chubb, who he's familiar with down in Miami, being teammates. Also having Breadman, Jalen Carter, and Jordan Davis on that line, Moro Ojomo. The list goes on. But that will be a defensive front that is capable of destroying game plans and wrecking the game from the line of scrimmage. We know here in Philadelphia how the trenches, the men up front, the offensive line and the defensive line, we invest heavily into those. Howie Roseman loves the offense and defensive line. So this will be a move that Howie would definitely make and be interested in bringing Bradley Chubb to the city of Philadelphia. So now we have in-house promotion. Parks Frazier is promoted to the QB coach. This is a huge win for QB1. Okay, so Parks Frazier, he understands quarterback development, has deep scheme knowledge, communicates clearly and precisely, and also builds strong player trust. This move creates continuity, stability, and offensive evolution. QB1 thrives when coaching language stays consistent, something that he has not had in a very, very long time. The only time that QB1 had the same consistent offensive coordinator was Shane Steichen a few years ago. And also QB1 thrives when development plans remain structured. This is a high level developmental promotion, and this is somebody that I like. He's been around QB1, so he should know his strengths and weaknesses, and we can get the ball rolling in this 2026 NFL campaign with the moves that we have been making on the offensive side of the ball, especially with the coaching staff. Now, let's shift gears over really quickly. Say it ain't so. Cam Beef Jergy Jurgens is finally getting healthy. This might quietly be one of the biggest developments of the off season, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. Cam Jurgens getting fully healthy. That stabilizes the interior offensive line, as we all know, improves pass protection, pass pro, boosts the run blocking game, and also restores athleticism to a position that we have been having a lot of athletic talent at in the recent years, especially with legend OG Jason Kelsey manning that position for the amount of time that he did. Cam Jurgens seemingly transitioned into it, but he was battling injury. And I've been a big critic of Cam Jurgens, especially last season. He was getting beat off the ball, he was getting pushed back. And I did want some competition for Cam Jurgens, but he kept fighting through injuries. And I hope that whatever he's doing to get healthy works, because we need Cam Jurgens back at 100% and playing to the best of his abilities, because we all know it's simple. When Cam Jurgens is healthy, the Eagles dominate the trenches and the line of scrimmage. And as always, we know this team goes as far as the offensive line takes them. Now, Jordan Davis, my guy, big Georgia Bulldog, man, he's entering a crucial phase of his career, and a contract extension is very, very possible. Now, Jordan Davis has improved his conditioning, has increased his snap counts over the years he's been here in Philadelphia, has become elite against the run, something he struggled with in the past, and has shown interior pass disruption. If Jordan Davis continues ascending, Howie Roseman will not let him hit the open market. That is a no go. Okay. Locking him up preserves the defensive identity of this football team, the physical dominance, and also the long-term trench control. La da da la. Okay, so let's dive into the most important parts of this entire offseason, and that's the cap space strategy. After adding Sean Mannion and Josh Grizzard to the coaching staff, the Eagles are clearly reshaping not only their offensive philosophy, but the entire team dynamic under Nick Sirianni as a whole. So that means major roster movement is coming. You know, Howie Roseman is sitting here like C. Montgomery Burns. Excellent. Okay. So Philadelphia currently has 21 players scheduled to either test restricted or unrestricted free agency market during the 2026 offseason. That is a massive number, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. Right now, our Philadelphia Eagles sit at 18.15 million in available cap space. But with the legal tampering period less than 3 weeks, away, Howard Roseman is actively working to unlock millions more. Let's break down the biggest financial levers Philly can pull. Extend Jalen Breadman Carter. That is priority number one. A contract extension for Breadman Carter would instantly create 2.6 million in cap space. Despite playing through two severely injured shoulders, Carter still made the Pro Bowl, recorded 33 tackles, logged 41 quarterback pressures, and had 11 quarterback hits and 3 sacks in 12 games. Carter is the heartbeat of this defensive front, and an extension locks in elite talent, rewards leadership, and creates immediate flexibility. This move is inevitable. We've been knowing how Jalen Breadman Carter has been producing in Philadelphia ever since he fell in the draft in 2023, I believe. Man, look, he was supposed to be the consensus number one pick coming out of Georgia, but we know his story and his situation. But since he's been here in Philadelphia, he has been a cornerstone and a pillar on that defense line. And I can't imagine him not being rewarded soon, and how he always works his magic and manipulates the cap space so that we can keep key players here in the city of Philadelphia. Now, another move that we can do is extend Jordan Davis. That is the major cap unlock, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. Extending Jordan Davis could free up $9.38 million in cap space. Jordan Davis led all interior defensive linemen in run stops with 34. He was ranked third among defensive tackles in tackles with 72. He tied in second in batted passes. Get your hands up in the passing lane. If you can't get to the QB, the next best thing to do is do what? Get your hands up in the passing lane. You guessed it. You were correct. Okay. But he had the second most in batted passes among interior defensive linemen with 6. Jordan Davis and Jalen Breadman Carter now form one of the most dominant young interior duos in the National Football League. Davis is playing on his 5th-year option, carrying $12.9 million cap hit for 2026, and restructuring that contract is one of the cleanest ways to create flexibility. Now, some roster decisions that could free up more millions is cutting Michael Carter II. That will create $8.74 million in cap space. Only Howie knows that this team values him after the mid-season trade, but financially, this is a major option and commitment. I know that Michael Carter II loved every second that he was here in Philadelphia, and he came on and made a few plays for our defense. But at that number right there, I don't know, with him not being versatile and not being able to play safety. I know they try to move him around the defense. We know that Cooper DeJean is solidified in the slot, and that's what Michael Carter II typically plays, is in the slot. He can't play outside. So we're sitting here kind of in a bind trying to find where Michael Carter will fit in this defense. But if this can open up some cap space, maybe, just maybe, this might be a move to make, because then we can get a player that actually could come in and take hold of one of the spots on our team. Because if he's just sitting on the bench at an $8.74 million cap space, man, look, it might be time to go. All right. But another person that we can free up cap space by releasing is Sidney Brown. That will create $1.53 million in cap space. He is a special team standout. A lot of people had hope for Sidney Brown here in the city of Philadelphia at safety, but as the years have gone on, he has been injured, as well as when he gets on the field, he just seems out of place, over pursues the ball. He doesn't have no throttle or no gear down mode. He just always 100%, 100%, 100%. Sometimes when you're on the back end and you're the last line of defense, you gotta play with contain. Okay, you gotta play within the defense, and sometimes Sidney Brown just overdoes it, and I'm not gonna lie, but he has struggled to carve out a defensive role here in Philadelphia. So his time might be up here in Philadelphia. The last option that we can do is trade Tyler Steen. That will create $3.6 million in cap space. Now, Tyler Steen, he earned a starting role this year with the departure of Mekhi Becton going to the Los Angeles Chargers. Tyler Steen was the 7th highest graded Eagles offensive player. He was ranked 17th in the NFL in overall grade, and his run grade ranked 11th league wide. Now, he is entering his final year of his rookie deal coming out of Alabama. Tyler Steen becomes a high value trade chip that can create instant flexibility. Now, I'm not all for moving off of Tyler Steen. I thought that he did a fabulous job last season. I know our offensive line didn't play the best, but Tyler Steen was one of the constants on the line. Unless we can get back some compensation that can help us on the defensive side of the ball or shoring up our offense, I wouldn't want to trade Tyler Steen. I know there's been rumors, and I've even said that I would love if Mekhi Becton could come back to Philadelphia, especially at the right price. But if Tyler Steen, if we're just trying to move him just to create some cap space, I don't like that, because that does fill a void. I mean, that does cause a void in our offensive line and a unit that struggled mightily last season. But if Philly executes even half of these moves that I just mentioned to you all, they can generate 20 to 25 million in additional cap space. That allows Howie and Jeff to go after elite free agent acquisitions, retaining cornerstone and pillar players to our organization, extend our young stars, and also sustain our Super Bowl window and contention. This is why the Eagles are never trapped financially. Now, let's switch over gears, because this is starting next week. I know that we can't believe it, but it's here. Let's get everyone ready for the 2026 NFL Combine, okay? So some positions that Philly will heavily scout is cornerback, edge rusher, offensive line, linebacker, and safety. Some key traits that they will prioritize is speed, explosiveness, versatility, football IQ, and leadership. This is where future Eagles are identified. Now, the ideal free agent profiles that we can have in this offseason is veteran corner. I would like a veteran presence out there, somebody who I think that we can definitely bring back for 2026, because he's still interested in playing in Philadelphia, and that is Darius Big Play Slay. We need a pass rush specialist, someone who can win on third down. When you need a sack, we need an edge rusher that can get off that edge and win their one-on-one matchups. A rotational defensive tackle, linebacker depth, and also a versatile safety. That is the Eagles' blueprint. Draft, develop, and the strategic free agent acquisitions. Look, we do this right in 2026. It's no doubt in my mind that we will be back to where we desire and want to go, and that is the Super Bowl in 2027 in La La Land, Los Angeles, California. But look, check this out. Me and Big Huss are going to continue dropping this pressure on y'all, so please keep y'all ears and eyes peeled to the streets. I know Big Huss is going to have a video coming out this end of the week. Man, y'all keep blocking in and checking and supporting on us, man. We definitely, truly do appreciate y'all. All the views, all the communication that we have with our supporters. We definitely thank y'all. Okay, now look, family, that is your complete midweek Eagles report. No clickbait, no misinformation, just real football, real breakdowns, and real community. But to our loyal supporters, thank you. Y'all know it's all love. The Main Thing Podcast Presents can't happen without the support from y'all. And to our new supporters, welcome to the community and our family. Let's continue to do our part for the community and our family. Please continue to like the videos. It does help with the visibility of our channel in the algorithm. Disrespect that comment section. Share and subscribe to the community and our content. And last but not least, make sure you do this. Make sure to turn on that notification bell, also known as that Liberty Bell looking thingy, so you don't miss when Swoop comes out with the Eagles news and updates. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, that is Mr. Own's time today. I hope that you all are having a fabulous week and y'all finish y'all week strong. Remember to always focus on your plan and not your mood. Continue talking your junk for our birds and let everybody know we gonna be back like we never left. It's always go birds and fly eagles fly in these parts around here. But if you don't know who I am, don't worry about it. I kindly remind you, I go by Mr. Owns, and this is the Main Thing Podcast presents, where we keep the main thing the main thing. Y'all already know it's always love. Until next time.
It was I was gonna make a lot of money doing what I wanted to do. I went after it, and it was a struggle to achieve it. But you know what? I caught that bitch. Dream chasing.